What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another SLA video. All right, guys, we have a big one here. Yeah, Goto Ryuji's out. It looks like the fraud is frauding. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. Well, there is no joke about the frauding part, but there are a lot of issues with Goto Ryuji himself in regards to the way he's functioning as a character, and a lot of his passives are not working as intended. It looks like it's either a lot of mistranslations or quite a few things that are happening that are making the character not function as intended, or at least as it says in the actual game. So a couple things we're going to cover here. We're going to go through each and every passive, go over all the skills, and talk a little bit about what's going on. First off, though, before we go any further, you guys can see here the Devastate Prey move here. Just so everyone is aware, it looks like it can break. It looks like it actually does have a break mechanic built in, even though it doesn't say it anywhere in the actual skill. So first, let's start off with that one. We'll make a simple one here, and I think this one's a good way to start. So we're going to jump in here, do a quick encore, and show you guys kind of how this functions. Okay, so we're going to jump in. We use the same team we were going to use before anyways, and let's go ahead and use Goto Ryuji, get his powers up, and watch the break bar. Okay, this is going to be an important one. I'm going to build him up, and we're going to see the break bar does in fact increase and then, decrease when you do the ultimate. You'll see even the word break pop up. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this right now. We're gonna probably kill this guy fairly quick, or at least break the bar fairly quick here, because he's honestly an incredible breaker. But let's just build up the ult. That's the most important part. I could probably use Min here, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, a couple other things to note here. We're gonna go through a couple different scenarios of things, and we're gonna talk about all the passes that are working and the ones that are not working. Okay, so here we go. There you guys go. We can see that right there. Dodge this, do this skill. We're gonna wait for the next guy to pop up and watch. I'll do the ult. And you guys will see the break bar kick in, right? So again, that's what we're gonna be watching more than anything else. Let's take this out. Let's just build my ult up here. We don't want to break him. That's the main thing. We just want to build the ult up. Okay, watch. Okay, watch. See the bar? Watch this. Did you guys see that? The word break popped up, and look at that. The break bar is gone. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening there. So that's number one. Number one, no break anywhere, but we get a break mechanic in the ultimate. So that actually makes him even more broken as a breaker. So that's a good thing. That's a good bug, but that's still a bug nonetheless, or at least it's not in the translations anywhere, and it should be somewhere there, right? So we know that one right there. That one is done. So let's go on to the next one that's also causing a problem. All right, guys, we're back here again. So let's go through the rest of the passives. Now, before we go on with the rest of the passives, let's just look at the passives to see if for some reason in here, there might be a break cause for the ultimate to cause any form of break damage, right? So if you look at the first one, if Goto Ryuji or an ally successfully puts an enemy into a break state, it causes the break duration to be done for 3 extra seconds. The Tyrant's Path effect is applied to all allies when entering the stage. So we'll see if this actually applies. Tyrant's effect will increase damage dealt to targets in the break state by 12%. So hopefully that's going to work. When the exercise effect has stacked up to 5 times, it triggers the demonic soul effect when Goto uses Death Gale. It increases wind damage of the Reverse Tempest and Blades by 10% for 10 seconds. So we're going to see all of this stuff to see if this works. Okay, and you guys see Death Gale here is in fact going to be, where is it? Right here, the core, right? So the core damage. So whenever he does this, so when exercise effect has stacked up to 5 times, it triggers the demonic soul effect. When Goto uses Death Gale, it increases wind damage. So there's a lot going on here. This guy's a lot going through his kit, right? So keep that in mind. Now, Tyrant's Path again increases damage dealt to targets by 12% in break state. That's infinite. And then Reverse Tempest or Stormblade. So Reverse Tempest is this. And when you activate Demonic Soul, it obviously becomes Stormblade, increasing the damage by an extra 50%, lasting for 10 seconds. So we're going to be able to see this at the beginning of the fight, and we should see this after exercise occurs, and he does Demonic Soul, and then this will be the icon you see, and then for 10 seconds, all your Reverse Tempest, which is this skill right here, again becomes Stormblade, should be doing an extra 50% damage. Okay, so all this stuff we should be able to see. A2, the user's break effectiveness increases by 20%, using Divine Wind or Devastate Prey increases the critical hit damage by 20% for 12 seconds. So we should see that whenever we do that skill. So Divine Wind is over here, and then this over here is Devastate Prey. So we're going to test that as well too. Again, we got a lot to test here, guys, just to make sure all this is working, because a lot of people come out saying he's bugged, and I want to make sure this is correct. The damage of the third hunter in the team increases by 24%. This is perfectly fine. This one works. I know this. I've tested it. We're good on A4, okay? And then lastly, A5, Phantom's Heavenly Hurricane, which is this one right here, right? That skill right there. And then what else is there? Reverse Tempest and Stormblade. Stormblade is, of course, is the reversal. Can be used 2 more times, and each attack deals an additional bonus equal to 10% of the skill damage. And then when Goto Ryuji's HP ratio is higher than the enemy's, devastate prey damage increases by 60%. So we can see here, guys, nowhere mentioned anything about a break damage in the ultimate skill. So that right there, bugged. Okay, very straightforward. Now let's just look at his weapon just to make sure we're all on the same page here. The weapon doesn't cause anything, right? Because using Reverse Tempest or Stormblade increases the user's critical hit damage by 30% for 15 seconds. So we should be seeing this as well too. We'll see if that functions, all right? So a couple things to note. So the first one, let's focus on A0. This one here, a lot of people saying is not working, and I can prove to you it is. So right here, whenever you do arrogance, when you do exercise 5 times, arrogance works, and then affects all win team members only. I think that might be the problem that people are having. It does, in fact, take away the user's skill consumption by 33%. We're going to simply look at Mirai, and I'll show you guys the difference, okay? It's very easy to tell. Or you can do Hansimi. It doesn't really matter who you want to use, but you guys can see here, my Hansimi, for example, has the following cores, no MP consumption or saving one, so we're going to just simply use her, okay? So we're going to jump into the fight. I don't actually have to do anything. I'll just show you guys that it does in fact take away MP. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to simply jump in. I'm not going to do arrogance first. I'm going to actually simply just do a skill with her, and we're going to record that skill, okay, just to make sure. You guys can see 1886, do this, 1519. Okay, second skill, 1519, right? 1519. 1519. All right, now we're going to go ahead and get out of there. Right, you guys can see that's the number. You guys going back here again, you guys can see the MP. It was 1519, that's 1521 now, just because of MP recovery, right? Now let's get out of here for a second. Let's just go ahead and retry. Now I'm going to put arrogance into play. All right, arrogance is going to should technically take 33% of MP away. Now we don't know what that MP is coming through as. Okay, there's arrogance right there. You guys can see the buff, right? Okay, bring her back in, 1418. Okay. You guys can see that, right? 1519, 1418. Took away an extra 100 MP because of that skill. So it is working. A lot of people are saying arrogance is not working. It is working. And yes, you do get the bonus in damage as well too. How you supplement that here in this team, and why a lot of people are like, Miri is not losing MP, and I noticed that as well too in POD, for example, is because Hansimi does have her MP recovery field move that she does, and then also because you have probably the purple core, which is also reducing an extra 12% MP consumption from your basic skill. So that's probably what's happening. But you guys can see here, there is in fact arrogance is in fact taken away more. It took away 100, literally 100, 100, a little more, 101 or something, right? MP. So arrogance is working in that regard. Now you guys can also see the tyrant effect is in effect as well too, right? The buff right there that is showing it. It's the first buff on the screen, so it is in fact there. So that part works as well. Now, seconds, being able to use the skill 2 times. 1, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There it is again, 2. So it is working. You can use it 2 times. You just have to finish the combo, right? I think that's what we're looking at here. If you look at the team details, you guys can see right here. Normally, without that, he would be using this, and then he would go into the core attack. But because he has the A5 ability, it now allows him to do that extra attack. All right, and I think that a lot of people are missing out on that part. So again, I'm gonna watch. I'll show you guys real quick. 1. Right, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 2 attacks, and there's a second attack. So yes, it is allowing you at A5 to do the attacks 2 more times. So you're getting the first skill 2 more times, and you're getting the second skill with the proper rotation 2 more times. And you always want to do that rotation because it's the second skill first, powers up the first skill 8 times, powers up, then you can use the second skill the second time, right? So that part is working. I just wanted to make sure everybody got that, and there's no problems there. Now, in regards to the actual crit damage of his weapon, let's go back to that one and look at it. We know it works. Sorry, A0, we know it works, okay? We know that the arrogance is, in fact, taking away the MP consumption. We know that the basic skills do 20% more damage. I know this because I've done the testing on that. I'm not worried about it. Just remember, guys, it is, in fact, affecting only wind team members, nobody else. Maybe that's the problem that people were having, and just maybe that was the issue, okay? Now let's go. We're going to do a little checklist here. I want to make sure that I have a checklist in place. I'm starting to do this now. Right over here, you guys can see what works and what's bugged. Currently, the only thing that I know that's bugged is the ultimate does break damage, not in description or anywhere in passives, or in passives, okay? So that is definitely bugged. A0, though, I think I'm comfortable enough to say it works. Now, let's go look at the weapon real quick before we go any further. The weapon here should, whenever using Reverse Tempest or Stormblade, increases critical hit rate damage by 30% for 15 seconds. Let's just go in there and just do a quick little test on this one, okay? We're going to make this super fast, and then we can jump back in and test out everything else. But we know Reverse Tempest is obviously the second skill. Let's just see if it happens, okay? So Tyrant's Path happened right there. I do this right here. No buff. No buff. Okay, so that is broken. So it looks like weapon is not causing a buff of any sort. Let's see if it does the second one. It does not. Okay, so weapon is in fact broken. So let's go here. Where's my little timestamps? There it is. So bugged, weapon. All right, we're good there. HP wise, I know it works. I took it off before, checked out the HP. It does actually increase. So that one's fine. HP wise, it's working. But the crit damage part does not work, okay? Let's go over to A1 now and take a look at A1 and see exactly what we're looking at here in regard to the A1 passives and where we should be testing, okay? Or what we should be testing as well. So A1, if Goto Ryuji and an ally successfully put an enemy into state break state, it goes into for an extra 3 seconds. The Tyrant Path applied to all enemies when entering the state. So we saw that right there. And then when the exercise effect has stacked up to 5 times, the demonic soul effect, when Goto uses Death Gale, it increases the wind damage of Reverse Tempest and Storm. So we should see this. Okay, we should see this. So when Goto uses Death Gale, it increases the wind damage of Reverse Tempest and Storm. So ideally what we want to see is that right there. And then this is Death Gale. Okay, so that one obviously has a break. You guys can see, again, no break damage here, just to make sure we're clear on that so nobody thinks there's any problems. Yeah, so let's go in here. Let's try this out. So we should see this icon technically occur at A1. So again, when the exercise effect has stacked up to 5 times, it triggers the demonic soul effect. When Goto uses Death Gale, it increases wind damage of Tempest or Reverse Tempest and Stormblade. All right, let's go in. Let's test this out. All right, folks, jumping in here now. We're gonna test this 2 different ways. I feel like Stormblade and Reverse Tempest look different. All right, and I don't think you're gonna actually see the buff. You guys can see the Tyrant buff down there, right? But look, if I do this skill right now, you guys see how that looks, right? Okay. Now check this out. We saw that, right? Cool. That's how that looks. I'm gonna do it again. And I'm gonna show you guys something that's a little strange. So watch, I'm gonna do it again, same move, right? Doesn't look any different. Now watch what happens when I do this 5 times. Okay, so we're gonna do the skill 5 times, and you're gonna see that the skill itself changes, but we don't get the buff. So I think that's where the problem stems. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you guys see now that icon changed. Now the move looks different. Okay, so it is in fact working. It's just we're not getting the demonic soul icon anywhere. So that's kind of a problem because we ideally want to see that buff, but we're not actually seeing the buff. And also, I want to just note something real quick. I noticed this about the weapon. The crit damage that we're supposed to get from the weapon that normally says it's coming from Reverse Tempest might actually not be coming from Reverse Tempest. I think it's coming from his QTE, because I noticed whenever I did the QTE, for some reason he did get a crit buff, right? If you look at the weapon again, it does say Reverse Tempest or Stormblade increases the user's critical hit damage by 30% for 15 seconds, but I feel like that's not the case. It might be coming from the QTE. Anyways, we'll look at that one after, but it looks like A1, guys, is in fact working, so I don't think there's a problem. I think the only problem with A1 is the fact that the icon is not showing, right? So A1, you guys saw the move look different. It is in fact becoming Stormblade whenever you do that 5 times, and you can cast it twice, obviously, with the A5 version being Reverse Tempest going right into Stormblade. Okay, so that is possible to do, and it does work. It just doesn't show the demonic soul icon, and definitely Stormblade does do 50% more damage than Reverse Tempest. So that is definitely working. Again, I don't know if anyone sees that differently, but I found it working. So I say Demonic Soul buff not working, but I'd say A1 Stormblade does activate after 5 stacks of Exorcism, but no buff icon shown. Okay, so I think that's kind of the problem. So you know what I'll do? I'll take this away. And we'll put that for now. All right. And I think that's fine. A2 we know works. Break increase works. So we're going to put that in there, and I'm not going to bother testing that because I already know it works. I definitely saw that. And now A3, let's look at A3. A3 is interesting. So A3 goes, using Divine Wind or Devastate Prey increases the user's critical hit damage by 20% for 12 seconds. Now this is interesting, okay? So Divine Wind is this QTE, and I think this is actually what's causing the weapon to activate as well, but I could be wrong, but it's supposed to only be 12 seconds. Keep that in mind, okay? So right over here, 12 seconds. Now watch what happens when I go in. Now before I do this one, I'm actually going to go ahead and unselect everything. Actually, can I just, yeah, I can do this. Okay, perfect, there. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna go ahead and jump in. Let's see if we do see a crit buff anywhere, okay? That's gonna be important to note. I'm gonna jump in here. I'm gonna go ahead and do the QTE real quick. We're gonna go ahead and do this. I'm just gonna attack a couple times, get her up, and we're gonna go QTE. Okay. Now, if you look at him first before, actually, no, I should have shown you this. You guys can see here the buff's not there, right? It's just the whatever attack buff is what I'm getting. So crit damage buff usually has an arrow pointing upwards. Just so you guys are aware, that's what it looks like. So going back to this, if I do this and I bring him in, right? He should technically have a crit buff. He doesn't have a crit buff. It doesn't happen anywhere. So, and I've done his ultimate. It definitely doesn't activate it either. So unfortunately, A3 doesn't work. Okay, and that's a problem. So we're gonna go ahead and put that in there as a problem. So A3 is bugged. A3 is bugged. QTE and alt don't activate crit damage. Okay, so that definitely is bugged. Okay, some of this is bugged. So that I can comfortably say is bugged because I've done the ultimate numerous times, looked for the buff, it never popped up. Did his QTE numerous times, looked at the buff, never popped up, right? And we just did it right there actually, and that I think proves also that the weapon doesn't work. So I think the weapon is in fact broken. So there's that as well too, all right? Now let's go over to the next passive here that he has. Where is he? Oh, say actually, let me just go into the fight because we're gonna be doing that anyways. Let's go Encore. Go in here. In here, and then if we go manage hunters again, go back to his passives, right over here, we go to A4. The damage of the third hunter in the team increased by 24%. This I know for a fact works because we've done the testing fully on POD. You guys can go check the spreadsheet anytime for that. That's available. That actually does show that in fact does work for him and the teammates that are there, okay? And then A5. So Phantom Heavenly Hurricane, Reverse Tempest, and Stormblade can be used 2 more times. Now this is an interesting one. This is an interesting one because I feel like it's worded very poorly. All right. So Phantom's Heavenly Hurricane, which is where is that? That is, hold on, sorry guys. Phantom, this one right here, Phantom's Heavenly Hurricane can be used 2 more times. That one's fine. I know that you can do that 8 times. Okay. Reverse Tempest and Stormblade can be used 2 times. What I think they meant to say here is that you can do Reverse Tempest into Phantom Heavenly Hurricane, because normally this is 6 times. Remember that, right? Like if you look here at the skill, you can do it 6 times. This you can actually do it 8 times. This you can do once. I think what they meant to say is you can do this, and then into this, into Stormblade, which you normally can't do, because if you look at the rotation skill guide, right, you can see right here it goes basic skill, which is Reverse Tempest, into the heavenly thing 6 times, right? Use 6 times, and then core attack. So I think what they're trying to say to you is the rotation is interesting. So this is just a mistranslation, but I'm going to show you guys how this works anyways, just so everyone's on the same page and we don't think there's an actual mishap here. So let me just show you guys the rotation that you're not getting unless you have A5. All right, and that's essentially it, right? So normally what will happen is you'll do this skill here, which is reverse blade, right? And then you'll be able to do the next skill 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So and then see the bottom there, now it became Stormblade. So now I can do Stormblade. I think that's what they were trying to do, and the skill rotation normally doesn't show that. So again, if I go 1, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that was bad timing. I ran out of MP. Let me retry this with some MP. You should be able to do the first skill 8 times essentially, right? So here, watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's, I pressed that 8 times, and they're into this skill. So it does work. It's just a really, really, really bad translation. So I'm gonna say right here that we're gonna say A4 works. We know this for a fact. A4 works. Tested on live stream. And then A5 works, but is not correctly advertised. See video. Okay. I show it works. It's just I think it's a really bad mistranslation. So there you guys go. So these are the bugs that are currently happening with him. These are the bugs that are not happening with him. I just want to show you guys this. Now, if anybody thinks that A5 is working, I haven't tested it at anything below A5 for that skill specifically. I just saw the skill guide and I noticed that they never added it the way I did. So if anybody can get him at a lower advancement and can do this without the A5, let me know in the comment section. So there you guys go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Just in case anybody wants to see it, this is kind of what we wrote here. All right. There it is right there. All right, guys. Again, please leave a comment, like, subscribe. Remember, go show some love in the support program, and let me know what you guys find. If you find anything else about Goto that is not working as intended, and we'll add it to the list. Again, thank you for watching. See you guys in the next one.